Okay. Chazor never heard anybody review. Right? Oh, you may be Faili Shel Cheres. You have to turn back a page to get the gray line. You got to get it even. Okay? That's it. Okay, ready? Oh, you may be Faili Shel Cheres. They would bring a cup made of earthenware. They would take a half a pint of water that was taken from the kir, they put it into this earthenware cup. Rabbi Yudom Revius, he says, no, a quarter of a log. That's 4 ounces rather than 8 ounces. Just as Rabbi Yudah says that the rid of that's written of the sotah, there's less written on it, because the machloks how much you write on it. Rabbi just as the ksav, what's written is less, the water is also less. According to the Tanna Kama, there's more water. You obliterate more into that water. Nichlas lahechel, the Kohen walks into the covered sanctuary. Pono liyamino, he turns to his right. Umokam hoyushom, and there was a location. Shom amalamo, it was an amma by an amma square. V'tavla shel shayosh, and there was a tablet made of marble. V'tabas hoysakvuabo, there was a ring attached to that tablet of marble. Kshumagbia nota lofen tachtei, he lifts it up, and there was earth underneath it. He takes some of that earth. V'not saying, and he takes the amount. How much earth does he take? Kadei sheyiroeh alamayim. He had water in the vessel, in this earthenware cup, and he would put enough earth that it would be noticeable that earth is floating, the sand or earth is floating on the water. Shneimar, as it says in the pasuk, mina offer ashayir bekarka hamishkan. He should take the offer from the floor of the mishkan. So what's the floor mean? Can't mean the floor is covered with marble. That means he has to pick up the tablets of marble. Underneath, he takes from that the nosen el hamayim. It doesn't say nosen bimayim. Bimayim means it's mixed into the water. You don't see it. But it floats on the water. Tono, we had learned in the Brisa, Faili Shel Cheres Chadosha. The cup used has to be a brand cup that was never used for anything else. Brand new earthenware cup. Dear Rabbi Shmuel. My time, Rabbi Shmuel. Where do we know it has to be brand new? Has to be new, never used. Shenemar. Go about Kli mi Mitzorah. We have Gzera Shabbat, it says Kli regarding the Sotah. It says Kli regarding the Mitzorah. Mal lahalon Cheres Chadosha. It says the Mitzorah has to be a new cup. Avkan Cheres Chadosha. Also it has to be a new cup. V'hosam, no, how do we know by Sotah? It has to be new. Right? The Chsiv v'shochad es hatzipor ha'achas el Kli Cheres. Right? You slaughter one of the birds, take 2 birds. One is slaughtered, dipped, and the other bird, you dip it into the water, which has the blood in it. El Kli Cheres. Al Mayim Chayim. What's the meaning of Mayim Chayim? Water that was drawn from a living wellspring. Right? Ma Mayim Chayim Shel Nasis B'mlocha Chayim means it was just drawn. It wasn't used for anything else. Av Kli, the Kli that you put that water into, Shelo Nasis B'mlocha, it was never used for anything else. Therefore it's a brand new earthenware vessel. So it says Kli there. Imal Halo, so the more ask the question, if we're learning from Mitzorah, Imal Halo Mayim Chayim, Av Ka Mayim Chayim. So if that's the case, it says you take water from the kior, from the laver. But it seems to be the water in the laver doesn't have to be from a well. It can be even rainwater. No, it says no. Rabbi Shmuel, according to Rabbi Shmuel, Hochanami, according to Rabbi Shmuel, he's of the opinion mikveh water is not good enough. You need what? You need mayim chayim. You need well water. Rabbi Yochanan mekir. Rabbi Shmuel omer my mayim heim. The mekir, the water that was in the kior, was my mayim. It was not my mikveh. Chamomrim misham meim is saying. It doesn't have to be mayim chayim. It could be mayim chayim, but it could be, as long as it qualifies to be mikveh, it could be mikveh water, it doesn't have to be. Simar says, but you could ask a question. If you're saying it's based on the Gzera Shava, that whatever you need by the Mitzorah, we apply to the Sotah, Ikal Mifrach, you're able to refute it. Ma Mitzorah Shkei Ton Eitz Erev Ve'ezu V'shni Toldos. You take the bird, you dip it in, what else do you have there? You have acacia wood, you have the grass, and you have piece of crimson cloth. Good. So over here also you should have it by the Sotah, right? That should be included in the Gzera Shava. Omar Rovo, Omar Rabba, Omar Kro, Bikli Cheres. It says you put it in a Kli Cheres. So what's the connotation? Kli Kli cheresh amarti loch. It's only comparable regarding the kli cheres. The kli that I spoke about over there, where? By Metzora, it has to be similar to that kli. What kind of kli is that? It's a new kli. So only in regard to the kli do we compare B to A. Okay? The only time it qualifies, Rava says, if it wasn't Nisach Muponov, it didn't turn colors. But let's say it turned from usage. I mean, according to him, you don't need a new kli. Let's say it turned colors from usage. It's psulin. My taimo. Just as the water that you use, if it's stagnant and because it's being turns colors, it doesn't qualify. Boy Rovo. What about initially it was not valid? Nisachmu ve'erziro l'toch kibshon ha'esh v'nislabnu. They put it back in the kiln, and it was whitened. I mean, whatever was absorbed in the it's interesting. The Gemara says in Psochim regarding kashrun kalim for Pesach kashrun. The Gemara says that if it's kli cheres, you cannot, because we know earthenware vessel it absorbs. So what's the halacha? You can't extract everything from it, right? So what you have to put it away. Any other material you could extract when it was absorbed. So the Gemara says, why? So the Gemara asks a question, it's important, Albert. Why don't you take hot coals and fill the vessel with hot coals, which is the equivalent of putting it into kiln? It will actually vaporize anything that's in the walls. Right. So the Gemara says, because if you do that, there's a chance it may burst. From the intensity of the heat, it may burst. So the person's not going to leave it in long enough. So if that's the case, it's true. If you leave it in long enough, it's going to do the job. But there's a chance he may not leave because he's always concerned it may burst the vessel. So versus what about if you put it back in the kiln? Once you put it in the kiln, the second it goes in there, there's no coming out. Right? It would be good enough because when you put something in the kiln, and actually it vaporizes, anything absorbed, it's like a new vessel. That's why it's whitened. It's whitened afterwards for that reason. So now with Gemara as a shaila, it was disqualified. It's put into the kiln, it's whitened. Do we say that since it's been disqualified, once it's invalidated, it cannot be reinstated? No, since today it's qualifies because it's white, it's not dark. Maybe you could use it. We'll see in a moment. So Tosa has a question over here. Very interesting, Tosis. Tosa says, "Tema Maishnav the Kobi Boili Hocha Binire Bechosi Binire." In Lulav Agos, the third parak in Sukkah. Listen to the Shaila. Kumbolon V'lo Yipshit. Over here, the Gemara has a question like this. You had a hadas, myrtle, Albert, a myrtle, and let's say the myrtle has red berries on it, right? And you pulled off the berries, so it's kosher. Before you pull it off, it's kosher. Has red berries, is not valid because it looks spotted. The myrtle is green. So if it's spotted, it's lacking in hidur, right? Every one of the species has to have the characteristic of hidur, has to have a certain attractiveness. So if it's menumer, if it's spotted because it's green and you have red berries, so he plucks the berries off before him. Not a problem. What happens now, because there's something grows back on it. So what it was nireh, v'nidche. It was nireh when you qualified. Then because now this thing grew on it, and now the berry was removed again. Do we say, just like by kochim, what's the halacha if you consecrate an animal? The animal is qualified to be brought. Right. Now, what happens if the mizbeach now gets chipped? The mizbeach gets chipped, right? So the halacha is you can't bring the korban because the mizbeach has to be repaired. So when the mizbeach is chipped, you can't bring the korban, right? Okay. And then afterwards, they repair the mizbeach. Right. So the halacha is it's possible. You cannot bring the korban anymore. Why? Because that's called nire v'nidche v'nire. It's dochui. Since there was in a position it could have been brought, then it was disqualified. It cannot be reinstated any longer. But that's by kochin. That's the highest level, right? That you have to be most sensitive to that. No, you don't. No, the korban has to. You have to bring a new korban. The korban has to be. The mizbeach has been repaired. Okay, now we'll talk about it. You have to consecrate a new korban, bring, but the original korban cannot be brought because it was in the position to be brought, and then it was knocked out of the box. It's gone. Okay. We rule even before shechita, but everybody agrees if shechita took place, they slaughtered the animal, and then they receive the blood, and all of a sudden the mizbech gets chipped.
Okay.
So you could wait. It takes an hour to repair it. Everybody agrees in that case, it's gone. You have to start all over again. You have to get a new carbon, slaughter again and again. There's an argument if it's alive, so we will rule even Bali Chaim Didochim, even if it's alive. Okay, good. But that's, everybody agrees by kochim. That's by something.
Good.
The question is, do we treat a mitzvah similar to Hegdish? On that, the Gemara leaves it unresolved.
Okay.
The Gemara leaves it unresolved. So that's Tos's question. Over there by mitzvah, in Sukkah, we leave it unresolved. All of a sudden, we're posing the question here. Why is the question here any more of a question than over there in Sukkah? It's unresolved there, it's unresolved here. So evidently, there's reason to differentiate. Maybe over here it's better. So take a look at Tos's. Big day kuna. What's the halacha? The vestments of the Kohen.
Right.
And they become not soiled, filthy. If the garb becomes filthy, and the Kohen officiates in that garment, it's not valid. So now, what happens if I launder the garment now? I launder it. And now, do we say since that vestment was actually disqualified, because if you do the avoda, it's not valid. So if I now launder it, do I reinstate the garment? So Allah, there's not even the question. The Gemara even doesn't impose the question. So why by the garment? Why don't we have the same shiloh? It was been disqualified. No, it's been reinstated. It's Tos's question. Oh, big day kuna show you bekuroim. They were torn over toshim. They were soiled seriously. Vavar avodosa psula. Vavidu hochim. But nevertheless, in kibeis tishtush vigiul, if he laundered the filth from chozlatirit kedemaisi beraisa perakamisvech makadish big to enosin osan masamach elamaisa ore nizgalu no begar elo baol. Somewhere he's washed. So why over there do we say it can be reinstated? Tosas doesn't answer it. So we have questions. Here we have a shiloh. We don't commit to the mitzvah. By the garments, we don't say it. So when do we say it? Yes. When do we say that? Tosas doesn't answer it. Leaves it unresolved, unanswered. Okay. So we have the shiloh over here. The cup, which originally was disqualified because it was darkened, you put it in the kiln, it's whitened.
Can you say yes?
And then it's reinstated. Do we say that since there was a time it was disqualified, could it be reinstated? So he wants to bring a raya. Toshma. No, it has to appear to be chodosh. Even if it's not new, it has to look. But if it has that used look, everybody agrees it's no good. So here it has the new look because it was put into the kiln. But since factually it's the same cup, it's not. Only regarding kashrus, it's a new bria.
The example of Kohanim that we just went over, is it just a regular Kohanim? Because I thought they had to bring a new vestment each time for the Kohen of the day. No?
That's only Yom Kippur. That's the service in Yom Kippur. What he did, vestments, he wore 1 year, he cannot wear the next year. This is the regular vestments. Any Kohen. Okay.
And it's only in the corporate Kohen.
Only Yom Kippur. Right. Okay. Let's see. He says, Toshma will bring a proof. Reb Lazar Omer Eitz Erev Ezo V'Shni Tolas. This is what you use by the Metzorah. Right? The acacia wood, Ezov is the grass, or the crimson cloth. Shehishpil ben Kubaso. You know what he did? Acharov. He had a box, and he used it as the rope, the crimson cloth, to hang the box. When he walks, he hangs it over his shoulder. Psulin. It's possible. Once it's been used for that, it cannot be used any longer. Why? Because when you use it for that, it gets all crimped. I've also Haji Umifshitik. After it's used, you're able to straighten it out, like iron it out. It should look like it was never used. Seven. What do we see over there? So you see, once it's been disqualified, even though it's now, you can bring it back. Versus no, there's no proof. Hasam Yiklufi. There, when you put it, you carried your box on it. From the movement, there's like this bark, or there's some type of membrane on it. Mm-hmm. So as a result of the rubbing, it's been damaged. That cannot be fixed. So again, it leaves it unresolved. Nichlas techo pino limino. Ufana limino. He goes to the right. My time. Whenever you turn in the Beis Hamikdash, you always go to the right, never to the left. Has no relevance, if you're in quandary, you come to a crossroads, go right or left, go to the right, because it says, even though people use this statement, I'm sure in Hebrew, not in Hebrew, whenever you're in doubt, always go to the right. Mm-hmm. But that's only specifically regarding the Beis Hamikdash. So this is something that's taking place in the Beis Hamikdash. It's going into the Heichel. It's going to the covered sanctuary. Okay. Yeah. Mokum hoyishom amamam ton rabbanon mina. It says mina offer sheyeh. It says, where do you take from the offer from the karka hamishkan? Listen to this. Yochel yisakmi b'chutz v'yachnis. Maybe you could bring earth from outside, and use that. So the earth now is in the heichel. Tamal b'karka mishkan. It has to come from the ground, from the ground of the mishkan. Ibekarka mishkan yochel yachber kadumos. Let's say you lift up the slab, and it's hard, and you have to take an implement and you have to dig into the ground. Maybe do you dig, right? Talmud lo ma'asheyeh. It has to be there. I mean, it's not you created there. It's not. That means you don't dig into it. So what happens? You lift it up. It's hard. You don't have. So what do? Hoketzat yesham haveg. If there's granulated sand under the under the slab, you take it from there. Ain't shum, what do? Taint shum. You take from outside, bring that, you put it on the ground. So now you're taking that, even though it's not originally from there, but where are you taking it from? You're taking you're taking it from Karka Mishkan. Right. Even though the origin was from outside the Mishkan, but where is it now? It's on the floor, on the ground. So you're taking it Mikarka Mishkan. That's called, you're taking the offer Mikarka Mishkan. And therefore qualifies to be used as the earth that's put into this earthenware vessel with the water. Tanya Yidach, we learned another brayso. Umina offer ashayiyah. You should take from the earth ashayiyah. Melamed shoy misakim mechutz b'machtis b'karka mishkan. You hear this? Isi ben Yudah omer lahovi karka. Isi ben Yudah says, second, karka mishkan mayosuk. Yeah. It's easy to use opinion. You just bring from the outside. You didn't even have to put it on the ground. So if you don't have to put it on the ground, so what does he do with mikarka mishkan? Even omer havi shilo nov v'givon beis olomim. Now that is interesting. Now Shiloh is known as what? Anybody who's a little bit into archaeology and in history, no? What's Shiloh? Mishkan Shiloh. Wasn't the first place. Wasn't the first place. No. There was Gilgal. We became Gilgal. Then there was Shiloh. Then there was Nova Givon. And right now, what was Nova Givon? Shiloh was a Mishkan. Nova Givon was not a Mishkan. It was a Bama. So Rashi says, what's the difference between a Mishkan and a Bama? Mishkan means the Aron was there. Nova Givon, there was no Aron. It was in captivity. So all you had the Mizbeach, the Choshes, you had the copper Mizbeach, but the Aron wasn't there. If the Aron's not there, we'll see there are halachic differences. It has its status, it's called the Bama. It's a public altar, that's all it is. But Mishkan, it's not. So let's say, the question is, could you have a situation of a Sotah in Nova Givon? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll see. So Rashi, very important Rashi here. So now, a Sotah, she has to bring her Mincha Sotah. So if you, in a Bama, you cannot bring a private korban. You can only bring a public korban. Right? So if that's the case, Nova Givon can't be. So Rashi deletes Nova Givon from here. Mm. When Isa ben Yehuda says it comes to include Nova Givon, that you could take it from the earth of the Nova Givon, it's not. Because Nova Givon, how do you have a Sotah? Yeah. You don't have a Sotah unless she's able to bring her what? Mincha Sotah. Right. So, right? So Rashi only, in his Gerson, his text reads Shiloh. Shiloh. Right? Take a look at Rashi. Rega. The bottom Rashi on the base. Oh, yeah. Lo tzorchler, because no begin a mashken basodas da bomo. V'lo hoyoshem oron elo mizbech and choshes levado v'lo korban v'lo kreva ben midchasota v'lo shum chovas yochid ein lo zman kavua k'de omar b'shchitas kochim u'bim begilo al beiso lomer in the Beis Hamikdash. We have to include the Beis Hamikdash. Why was the Beis Hamikdash called Beis Olamim? You hear this? The Beis Hamikdash is referred to Beis Olamim, the house forever. So that's what Rashi says. Rega, You would think maybe it says you should take it from the earth of the karka hamishkon. What about the Beis Hamikdash? It's called Migdash. It's not called Mishkan, right? Beis Hamikdash Yerushalayim korelei Beis Olomim b'fish ein achat kedusha. Achat kedusha se heter b'mokom acher. Once we came to Beis Hamikdash, there's no such thing as heter bomos. You cannot build a private altar any longer. Okay? Shuv lo shorse shchin mokom acher. This was the last stop. Once the Beis Hamikdash was built, that's the location of Shechina. Shechina doesn't exist anywhere else. Okay? So how do we know? So Tosa has a problem, because Tosa quotes the Gemara in Eruvin, where the Gemara says that the Beis Hamikdash is called Mishkan and Migdash. It's called both. Okay? And there's a certain opinion that says even though Givon, you could bring a private korban. Okay? Isi ben Menachem. Until now we were talking about Isi ben Yehuda. Right? There's Isi ben Menachem Omer. Eino tzorich. You don't need the pasuk to include mat betuma kalo lo chilak akosov betuma seishis ish chamura lo koshkem. Now, here. If a person goes into the Beis Hamikdash with tumas aguf, right? He's contaminated. You're not permitted. What's the liability? It's karis, right? Committing adultery, the liability is death penalty. So over there, we say regarding the paraduma, sheneva paraduma. It says by paraduma, right? Elokaris lo chilek hakosav bein migdosh le mishkan shenemar parshas paraduma shnei psukim kies migdosh Hashem timei. It's Mishkan Hashem Timei. It says if you go in with contamination of the dead in the Beis Hamikdash, you contaminate the Migdash Hashem and you contaminate Mishkan Hashem. Okay? So Tumah contaminating the Migdash. Compared to adultery, it's called a lesser level of contamination. Adultery, it's a much more serious level. So if in regard to a lesser degree, the Beis Hamikdash we refer to what as Migdash and Mishkan. So what do you need a pasuk? You don't have to need a pasuk to tell me that the Migdash for adultery, it's both. So therefore, according to Isi ben Menachem, the pasuk Mikarka Mishkan is totally superfluous, right? Isi ben Yehuda Omer Einu Tzor Ma Betuma Kalo Lo Chileka Kosa Betuma Seishes Ish Lo Kamur Lo Koshkem Im Came Atam Lo Bekarka Mishkan Shlo Yovim Bitoch Kuposo. You hear this? That what happens? You bring it in a box. L'toch Kli V'Yachlis Lehechol. Let's say you have a box in the Heichel. Let's say he brought a box of earth outside, puts it in. Now he takes out of the box. Torah says no, it has to be taken off the floor. You may have brought it from somewhere else, but it has to be put on the floor, and you got to take it off the floor. But if you bring a box and put a box there, and you take it out of the box, it's not good. That's karka mishkan. Iboilu. Ain't shom offer mau shitinef. Now the question is, what happens? You can't find earth, but you can find ash. Could you use ash? Is ash the equivalent of offer? Interesting shayla. It says by kisi adam, you slaughter a undomesticated animal bird. It says you have to cover the blood. What do you cover with? It says offer. Right. Could you use ash? So we'll find it's machlokes tanoim whether you could ash. So if we see that afer is interchangeable with offer, so here also maybe it's interchangeable, right? According to the opinion that you can use ash for kisi adam, it's not a question. But according to the opinion that you can, just as over there it's interchangeable with offer, maybe here it's also interchangeable. You can't find earth, you can use ash. Let's see, let's say, Bolu. Ain't shem of maushi tenefer. Aliba de Beis Shammai lo tiboiloch. According to Beis Shammai, it's not a question, you definitely cannot use ash. Why? The Amri lo matzinu efish kori offer. We don't find anywhere that the Torah refers to ash as offer. Ki tiboiloch aliba de Beis Hillel. But the Shiloh's question according to Beis Hillel, why? The Amri matzinu efish kori offer. We find Afer is called offer. Where do we find it? Avagav Matzino Eifshkor Avagav the Ikri offer Hocha bekarka Mishkan Ksiv. But over here it says you should take it from karka Mishkan. What's karka? That's earth. V'fikisi Adam, just as you should cover it with earth. Right? Where do we find offer is called Afer? Because Avram Avinu says Anochi offer ve'Afer. Anochi, I am dust, I am ash. Right? Rega, Rashi says. Yeah.
He was birth.
Hochas, but Odilno, Hai Bekarka Mishkan, Likdisa Ben Yehuda. It's not a problem. If you say it has to be taken from there, right? It has to be taken from there. So Karka means it has to have relevance to the ground.
Right.
But if it could be brought from somewhere else, you bring it in, and that's enough. So you can bring, maybe you can bring ash in. See, if it has to identify with the ground, okay, ground is what? Ground is earth. See, Bakisna doesn't say ground. It says you should cover it with offer. Doesn't say offer that's taken from the ground.
It just says offer.
Offers. Offer can mean afer, can mean ash. But over here it says you should take from Karka Mishkan. Maybe Karka Mishkan means from the earth, of the ground.
Yeah.
Okay? L'chdisi, Udase, Toshma, the Omer of Yochanan Mishum Bishmoel. Now there's Bishloshim Komas Halacha or Keves Mikro. We find Halachim Sinai, although the Pasuk seems to say one thing, we have a Halachim Sinai which could be contrary to the Pasuk. What is it? Okevis means it pierces. It penetrates, it pushes aside the Pasuk. HaTorah Amar Ba'ofer. Torah says, what should you cover the blood with? Offer. V'halocha b'chol dvar Torah. B'chol. Yeah? You could use anything. Ba'ofer. Kisi Adam v'lo hichshir. Megadol tzmochim. Right? What about if you take tzmochim? Let's say you take vegetation, and the vegetation goes and now decomposes. And you want to use the decomposed vegetation to cover the what's it called? The blood, you could. Doesn't have to be. But you see, it's decomposed vegetation. You could use it. Halacha b'chol davar ha'bagadlu tzmochim v'azarach v'asid v'cherses u'levenu. You take lime and you pulverize it, and you want to use that. That's good enough.
Lime.
Even lime, could you grow in lime? It's not offer. It's good enough. Okay. Hatorah Omra Betar. Now, when a Kohen, a Nazir, the Torah says Tar lo yaval rosho. He's not permitted to say with a blade.
Yeah.
Okay. What about he pulls the hair out? What about if he fluffs his hair? Let's say he uses a comb. Is that a razor? It's not a razor.
Right.
Yet it's Torah. It's Doraisa. He's not permitted. Right? B'chol v'halocha b'chol dover. You're in violation of that law, whatever you use. HaTorah Omra, you want to use some kind of depilatory to remove your hair. You're in violation. HaTorah Omra, Sefer. What the Torah says, you should write a get it Sefer crease. What's a Sefer? A Sefer means a document.
Right.
What about if you want to use a leaf? You want to write it on a leaf, a get.
Good.
It's valid. So even though the Pasuk says Sefer, the Halacha says no, not only a Sefer, anything that you could write on. Halacha b'chol davar v'misa lechshav nami hai. Here, so the question is, we want to bring a proof. We'll bring a proof that we ask the shaila, could you use ash in place of dirt? Right? So it says in the Baraisa with the three examples, if you go according to the literal reading, it's that and not something else.
Yeah.
But yet, the Halacha says it's not that, it's something else.
Okay.
So the Gemara says, but if you tell me you could even use ash rather than dirt for what? For the Sotah, why isn't that listed as the fourth?
Good.
That should be the fourth. Why does it only say there are only three?
Right.
Right? The Torah says by Sotah offer. So we're asking, is offer specific, or does offer mean even
General.
ash?
Yeah.
Or even ash? So if that would be another exception, why isn't it listed? It should say there are four things. That even though the pasuk reads one way, we say it's something else. So there's a ton of a shire. No. You know something, when it says three, it doesn't mean specific three, it left it out. Somewhere says, ton of a shire, my shire, the high shire, mean when the Tana leaves something else out, he never leaves only one thing out. If it's many things, he's not going to list everything. But if it's one, he concludes that it's one. So that means he must have left out more than one. What did he leave out besides the case of Sotah? Ton of shire, my shire, the high shire, shire, mitzorah. He left out the case of mitzorah. What does it say about mitzorah? The Tanya, v'oya b'yom hashvi. Now, a mitzorah, how many times does he cut off all the hair off his body? Twice. Right, when he recovers,
And then
he removes, then you wait a week, and the second time you remove all the hair off his body. So it says, v'oya b'yom hashvi, yigaleach es kol se'oro. You should remove all his hair. We'll see. So that's klal. That's a klal. Es rosho es zikno, es gaboseinov. So the Torah is being, we have a klal, then we have a prat. The Torah is being specific. The hair of his head, his beard, and his eyebrows. So that's specific. prat. Then it says, Ves kol soro yigalech, and all his hair should be removed. So what is a klal, prat or klal? What do we have? What do we have? A principle? Chaz v'kolal, klal or prat or klal. When the Torah speaks in the general way, and then it says speaks something specific, then again it closes with a general. We say, Iato donel kena prat, meaning the klal has to have a semblance of the prat. So what is that? Ma prat mfurish mokum kinusar, which hair has to be removed? Where the hair, you have the accumulation of hair, vinira, and it's visible. Avkomo kinusar vinira. So my Rabbi, what does that include? Rabbi saraglayim. That means the pubic area. Saraglayim, you know, it says the hair of the feet. It's belosh mekia. Rashi says. Torah speaks it. The Gemara speaks, right? Saraglayim, like urine. What's urine called in Hebrew? Meraglayim comes from the penis, but it's called because it's a nice way to say it. Because it's located, situated between the legs, so we refer to urine as meraglayim. Okay, the water of the legs. My meat. So what am I from this klal? What am I excluding? Meat, the beis hashechik. What about the hair on the underarms? So it's not noticeable because the hand is down. You don't see it. Do you remove that? So if you go based on the klal prado klal, you shouldn't have to remove that hair. Should not. Udakuli gufek, and the hair on the rest of the body. But hilsa, but what the halacha mishsinai is megaleach kedalas. You hear this? You shave him like a gourd, smooth. Every part of his body, including the hair on the underarms, you remove. You remove everything. It's not bolo lahakif mitzora. When you come to, using the term hakif, when you come to remove the hair of the mitzora, mavir taral kol b'soro, you remove all the hair on his flesh. Uktani seifa ubiyomashri galcho taglach shniyos kedaklachas shniyo. So the first taglachas, what does it say? All the hair. That includes under the arms. It's not only the hair which is noticeable, even the hair which is not so obvious. And it says the second removal should be like the first removal. Okay? We say when we list the halacha which is contrary to the pasuk, ho keves midrabonani. By mitzora, that's only rabbinical. On a Torah level, you don't have to take off all the hair. That the second removal, that's rabbinical. It's rabbinical. It's not a Torah law. Rav Papa Omar kiko choshiv halacha keves vokeres ho keves bosefesi. Hear this? Here you're doing more. To do less, you see, the Torah says, let's our discussion. Right? We're speaking about, could you use ash instead of that? We're changing the rules here. There, not only do you remove the hair, which is obvious, so you're doing more than you have to do. You understand? Okay. That's why it's not listed. Here, you're doing something contrary to what the pasuk is saying. The pasuk says use earth, and you tell me you could use vegetation, decomposed vegetation. So he's saying so other than the pasuk. So those are these examples. Torah says you're only in violation if you cut off hair with a razor. No, any removal of hair, you're in violation. So that's contrary to what the pasuk is saying. Here the Torah says you have to remove all the hair. It seems only the hair that is exposed. But that's not contrary. You're doing more than you have to use. Okay. You're not changing the equation. Ho kevisim osefesi ravashim homas nisa moni. Rabbi Shmuel, no problem. This mission is going like Rabbi Shmuel. The dorsh kloli uproti kedalas moni Reb Kivi. Hear this? The truth is like this. The brayta that we list 3 is what? That's going like Rabbi Shmuel. Because the case of the mitzvah, you shave him like a gourd. That Rabbi Shmuel, there's a question. We said you have klal prado klal, right? You have a Torah speaks generally, specifically and generally. Should we say that the prat, what you do has to have a semblance of the prat. What is a semblance? Even though it says the eyebrows, the beard, right? It means any area we have an accumulation of hair which is noticeable, that's what has to be removed. So what does that exclude? Under the arms. You know who says that you shave him like a gourd? That's called Rabbi Akiva. Because Rabbi Akiva interprets that's called ribui miut ribui. When the Torah is all-inclusive, and then it's limitation, then it's all-inclusive. There, it's more inclusive. It doesn't have to have a semblance of the specific. We'll see. We have this many times. The Dorish ribu miut, the Tanya, voyu biom ashvini galechos kol soro, ribo. On the seventh day, remove all there. That means all inclusive. Es rosh zikno vesgabos of meat. Right, his head, his beard, and his eyebrows. Es kosari aleh chosev riba. It comes to be again all inclusive. When you have this kind of setup, what is the Torah communicating? Ribo miyat ribo. When Torah says everything included, specific, and again, riba kol includes everything. Everything. 1 second. So if it excludes everything, so what's the miyut? We have to be excluding something. Or my miyut miyat sar shebsochachotem. Hear this? What about the hair in the nose? You have to go into the nose. See, the arm, at least you pick it up, you can see it. In the nose, that's never seen under any circumstance. Meaning you have to go in with something and remove even the hair within the nostrils. That you don't. That's what it's excluding. Every bit of hair which could be seen, doesn't have to be seen, but hair that's never seen, that hair you leave. Because if I only have a cold sorrow, I'd say even that. That's part of the hair. Okay? So we have a shayla, Ma'av. Could you use ash for Beis Sotah, or it has to be earth? We resolve it. Toshma, Dom Rav Huna Barashi Omer Rav, Ein Shom Ofer Mevi Rak Vuvis Yerek. You this Umekadesh. You take a decomposed vegetable and you sanctify it. Hear this? V'lo Rak Vuvis Yerek Hu Davoy. He says. So he says, v'lo there's no proof. Rak Vuvis Yerek to have a offer. What is earth? What happens if you have a vegetable that decomposes? That's earth. That's earth. Right? You have a leaf. What happens to a leaf? Again. Eventually, it goes back to earth. Right. But here with something that's burnt. You burn something. It's something else. Yeah. So something decomposed, that's offer. If will have a offer. So again, the Gemara leaves it unresolved. The Gemara doesn't answer whether you could use ash if you don't have offer. Decomposed matter which grows from the ground, that's called offer. That's called offer. Something that's burnt, that's not offer. Maybe not, maybe yes. The Gemara leaves it unresolved. Okay?
With the emancipate, the items that you could use, do you have to put it in connection with earth? Do they have to pick up that marble?
That's the argument. Do you have to put it on the ground, take it off, or not?
Or is just when it says ground, does it mean just the floor of the sanctuary?
No. Well, that was the question we had before. Does it have to be put on the ground and taken off the ground? You lift it up and put it there, and then you take it off the ground?
We couldn't do that.
No, it's machlokas. It's machlokas tanoim. That's a machlokas tanoim.
And just going back to the very simple text, in the simple text, the sotah was allowed to be, that practice was allowed to be done in the
sanctuary.
Mishkan, or only
No, she stood by the Shad Niknor.
No, I'm sorry, but Beit HaMikdash obviously you could sotah. In Shiloh, in the Mishkan stood, you could sotah. What about the Bama?
It's machlokas Rashi and Tosus.
That's also
right.
Because it's seen in the plain text of the.
Yeah, according to our
Mishnah,
text.
The plain text of the Mishnah says that.
It says yes.
You can, and you think the plain text would
But
override.
Rashi has a problem. But if you don't bring a private korban in a bama, how do you have sotah without bringing? You have to bring a mincha sotah. You have to bring the meal offering of a sotah. So Tosa says it could be going. There's an opinion that says that you could bring a private offering in a bama. You could. So this brisa could be going according to that opinion.
Why couldn't sotah be the specific exception to the rule? If you couldn't bring a private offering,
no.
Sotah is very special. And
no, it has to be based on psukim. You have to have a verse to indicate it's the exception. There's no pasuk that's the exception.
The plain Mishnah itself is not adequate.
The brisa, it's not. So Tosa says no. There is an opinion in Zvochin that says that you could bring a private offering, even in the bama, even in the mishkan without the oral. It could be brought there. So therefore, there's no reason to delete it.
So it's unresolved.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, well, we had to do you bring it before she drinks or after she drinks? But it has to be brought sometime, either before or after. But if you're not able to bring mitzvah sotah, there's something vital component is missing from the whole process. That we had an argument. Either it activates, according to one opinion, it's afterwards, it activates the Mei Mora. According to the other opinion, is no. It's called maskeres ovo, because she behaved like an animal. Therefore, the ingredients are animal fodder. Isn't that?
It may not be a private
No, but the carbon's a private carbon, not the Mesota. She can't drink unless you're going to. You have to bring them in. Let's say. It is. It's her personal carbon. It has to be her. She has to donate it. She consecrates it. Nobody else can bring it. It's her thing. It's not a communal carbon.
No, but it's not for a positive benefit.
Doesn't make a difference. It's still her private.
It's a different composition.
Yeah. It's barley rather than wheat.
You can't be excluded.
Okay, let's go further. Tanur excuse me. Yeah. Kadeshi Yiroi al-mayim. You have to put it enough earth that you see it in the water.
Right.
Let's say you just put a little dust in there. It immediately disappears. It has to float on top of the water. Tanur Rabbanan shloshet shvichim shiro. There are three situations you have to see the earth in the water. Not earth. Ephesota, when you add it to the water, you see the earth. Ephepora. You first put the water in the vessel, then you take the ash of the parah and you put it on top. Vrok Yivama says that she spits in the presence of the Bezdin, in the presence of her surviving brother-in-law, right? By Chalitza, it is part of Chalitza process. So visually, the Bezdin, the spit that she spits out of her mouth, they have to be able to see it. Mishum Mishral Amro Avdam Tzipor. You hear this? When you did Metzorah, before you start counting the second 7 days, when it says you kill one bird and you put its neck into the water, into the Mayim Chayim, but it's Metzorah, the blood has to be seen in the water. Let's say you just have one droplet, immediately it dissolves. Right? It's not good. It has to be enough blood that you see the blood in the water. My time to Rabbi Shmuel. Why do you have to see the blood in the water? T'chsiv, v'tovol osam b'dam atzipor. It says, after you do that, it says you take the acacia wood, you take the hyssop, and you take the crimson, and you dip it, it says, in the blood of the bird. But if you put a minuscule amount of blood, and then intermingled, you're dipping in the water, you're not dipping in the blood of the bird, right? V'tanya b'dam, yochel b'dam lo b'mayim, said maybe you just dip it in the blood, you don't have to dip it in water. Talmud loma b'mayim. Some say b'mayim, yochel b'mayim lo b'dam, maybe it means only in the water you dip it, you don't dip it in the blood. Talmud lo b'dam, so how do you reconcile both? How do you reconcile? Hoketzad. Maybe mayim. First you bring water. Shedam tziba nikabem. See, it's water, but you see in the water, you see the blood of the bird. There's a sufficient amount of blood that the blood is noticeable in the water. V'kamo. And how much is that? Revius. A revius. A revius of blood in the water.
How much water are we talking about?
Has to be minimally a revius. Let's say you have 4 ounces of water and you have 4 ounces of blood. Right? So it's clear, it's diluted. Rabban said, I need it for itself. There's no proof. Dochi kamar, Rachmana. Apil bedamu mayim. You know what Torah is saying? You have to dip it in the blood and the water. Doesn't mean they're intermingled. One, Rabbi Shmuel, imkein, lichtav rachmana v'tovel behem. It says you should dip it in them and then it should go quality. You know what it means in them? Bedamu b'mayim. First in blood and then in water. Lamali. L'nikui. Right? Why does he explain the nikui over there? What's that for cleansing? No, nikui is with. No, lama li. No, 1 second. What's that word? L'nikr. L'nikr. Lama li l'nikr. Chega. How does he explain nikr? Shmuel im kei lichtav rachmana v'tov ben b'dam mayim. So lama li. Yeah, excuse me. Rabbi Shmuel says it has to be noticeable. No, that's very good. So he says no, because it's l'nikr. The reason why the Torah writes dam mayim, that has to be noticeable. You should dip it in them. So they ask him, Rabbi Shmuel, excuse me. Ikos rachman v'tovel b'dam havamina hayil chud hayil chud ikos rachman dam mayim la'arvon u'b'mayim la'arvon, to mix them. Means they should be mixed. I would think it's blood and water mixed. Rabbi Shmuel, Lav Kro Achrino. Oh, did I skip? I think I skipped. Did I skip? Second. Rega, I skipped. Rabbi Shmuel, Im Kei Lichtav Rachmana V'Tov B'Hem B'Damu B'Mayim. Lamali l'nikr. So evident. What does it mean? To teach me, the blood has to be noticeable in the water. Rabboni kos rachmona v'tovel behem havamina hayluchude v'hayluchude koyrach kos rachmona b'dam mayim la'arvon. You know what it means? I would think you dip it in each one individually. Torah says no, you just have to mix it. Do you have to visually see blood in the water? No. Even if it's diluted to a point you don't see the blood, it's good enough. Rabbi Shmuel arvon krachrino. So how do you know you have to mix it? How do you know after let's say the blood is just floating on top of the water? How do you know you have to stir it? He says, Krachrina ksiv. It says, V'shochat tzibur achas. It says, Shochat, letoch hamayim, harei murovim. Right? It says you should slaughter it into the water. It said, from there I already learned that they're mixed. Rabbana, himeahu, hava amino, l'shtei, somach lamona. If I only had the first pasuk, I'd say, you know something? You slaughter the bird next to the vessel, and you hold on to the what are they called? The equivalent of the jugular vein of the bird. You hold on to the vein that you don't let the blood spurt out. So you're holding your finger on the opening, right? L'shachtei somach lamona v'nintke l'vridin l'kabel the dam b'mona, and then you let the blood drip into the vessel. B'mona achrino kamash malon. No, it's not good enough just to let it go into a vessel. You have to let it go what? Into the vessel with the waters in the vessel. Boy minei Rav Yirmiyah, Reb Zera. Now, interesting shiloh. Let's say you have a big bird, and you have a tremendous amount of blood. Umatche esamayim, and after you add that blood to the water, it's as if it looks like undiluted blood. Okay. Let's say you only need a revius mayim, and you have 30 ounces of blood coming out of this big bird. You understand? It's not even going to be noticeable. It's not going to look like diluted blood. It's going to look like blood. Is it valid? Ketano v'nitches ne'ama. What about it's a small bird? The only bird you could locate is a small one.
And a lot of water.
And so therefore you don't notice it. What is it? Is it valid or not valid? Amalei lavamina. He says, Reb Zera says, haven't I told you? Losafik nafshech labar mehilchso. Right? Didn't I tell you you should accept whatever is part of our Mesorah? There's a Mesorah b'tzibajora shiru rabbonon. Yeah? The evaluation of the bird is a tzibajora. It's a certain type of bird. Rega. Kol divrei chachomim shenikvu al tarachrein. It's tzibajora. They evaluate it. Ein locho gedolo shemadeches es amayim. This particular bird, there's no, as big as it is, it doesn't have enough blood that it's going to cause it, that you won't notice the water. And this particular species of bird, it's called tzipa joror, that there's not enough blood, that the blood won't be noticed. As big as the bird may be or small as the bird may be, you're going to notice it as diluted blood diluted in water. You're right, if you take a turkey, maybe. But we speak the birds you take is tzipa joror. It's a specific type of bird. So as large as it may be in this species, or small, you're going to see it as diluted blood. Okay? It says you put the earth on the water. What happens if you revert the process? Water, first earth, and you put water on. Is it valid? Higdim offer l'mayim posul. It's not valid. It's not valid. Reb Shimon machshir. Reb Shimon says no. My time to Reb Shimon, d'chsiv v'lo khu l'tomei. Now, this is specifically speaking by the paraduma, because it says v'lokach mitlutomei. They take for the ma'afas reifas hachatos. So what does it say? V'lokach lutomei ma'afas reifas hachatos. So you're taking from the ash and you're putting it straight into the kli. V'tanya omriv shim nechiyofu hu v'lo eferu. It says in the pasuk v'lokach lutomei afar. So afar. We're talking about ash. Right. Why does it refer to the ash as offer? Offeru, velo eferu. Shida kos b'mashmo loden emen gzer shava. The reason why the Torah uses the word offer because to shashibel on gzer shava. Why? Nemer kan offer. Says by paradom offer. Nemer lalon offer. Mal lalon offer agabi mayim. Afkan offer agabi mayim. Just as by sotah, the offer goes on the water. Here also this water goes. The earth goes on the water. 1 second. Omakan higdim ofel l'mayim. So that's what you may think, but it says over here the offer precedes the water. Afalon higdim offer l'mayim kosher. There you go. By paradum, it says higdim offer. It mentions the offer before the water. It's kosher. So just as here it's kosher by the paraduma, by the sot it's also valid. Malal offer agabi mayim. Makan higdim offer l'mayim kosher afkalalon. Higdim offer kosher. V'osam minolon. And how do we know over there that it's kosher? It's valid. Trei kroi ksiv. Ksiv olav. It says you should put the water on it. Alma efer bereisha. So by paraduma, it seems to be you first put the ash. Uchsiv mayim chaim el keli. And it says you put the water from the living wellspring into the vessel. Alma mayim bereisha. So here it says the mayim into the kli. That means it seems to be an empty kli. And the other pasuk seems to be saying you put the offer in the kli. Ketzad rotzes and those rotzes. There's no, whichever one is okay. You want to put water first in, it's valid by paraduma. You want to put the ash in first, it's also valid. So just as it's valid there by sotah, you have your own prerogative. You want to put the water in first, you want to put the earth in. Rabbanan said, but the Rabbanan disagree. They said no, it has to be done first water and then earth. El kli dafko olav la'arvon. When it says el kli, the water has to go specifically with nothing else in the kli. Olav only means to say you mix it. Vehema olav dafka el kli, shtei chiyus in the kli. Okay, let's stop here.